Hello and good morning, everyone. Once again, my name is Jared Teed, Product Marketing Lead for CRM Dynamics, and thank you for joining today's webinar on the Quick Launch Blueprint. Now, before we begin the webinar, I just wanted to go over a few housekeeping items. First, this webinar is being recorded and will be made available to you afterwards. To ensure the sound quality is consistent, we have muted all of the lines, and if you'd like to ask a question, please use the chat or question function on your control panel, and we'll make sure to address them all at the end of this session. So, with that being said, I'd like to introduce our presenter for today, Matthew Beechner. Now, Matthew is a Microsoft certified solution expert with 3 years experience in requirement gathering, analysis, and configuration. And with CRM Dynamics, he has personally worked on a multitude of Dynamics projects, including sales, marketing, and customer service. With that, I will let you take over, Matthew.
Great, thanks so much, Jared. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. We're excited today to just bring you through the Quick Launch Blueprint and give you an idea of why we really believe this is a great engine for customers quickly getting onto the Dynamics platform and being able to see the benefits. So our agenda today is we've gone through some introductions. We want to talk through who we are, talk through just the Dynamics platform in general, and then we want to go through a demo. So that's the main pieces here. Great. So a little bit about CRM Dynamics. A big piece for us is really driving our success through blueprint models. So what we've really looked to do is really engage different customers of different industries, pick up the best practices and bake it into different blueprint models that we have with the goal of getting them up and running and gaining value from CRM faster than a traditional implementation. So we've been in the business for over 20 years. We're a Microsoft Gold certified partner. We are also an Inner Circle partner as well. So we have a great connection with Microsoft to give them feedback and bring our customers' experiences directly to Microsoft. And a big driving factor for us is optimizing implementations. So kind of getting towards that blueprint model that we've discussed. And really the most foundational one is quick launch. That's just the way that we're able to get organizations that are a bit newer to CRM or really want to get onto the platform quick. We're able to facilitate that. So I wanted to go through a little bit about Dynamics 365. So it's really a set of business applications within the Microsoft ecosystem that looks to allow businesses in sales, customer service, field service, finance and operations, and project service automation really be able to leverage Microsoft's best practices and effectively capture data well to learn about their customers and automate process. That's really the essence of Dynamics 365. And it really benefits a lot from the Microsoft ecosystem. The ability to integrate with Outlook, Excel, and just a myriad of other different parts of the Microsoft ecosystem really allows it to work effectively both for small and enterprise level organizations. Really, some of the methodology that underpins this is we're looking to, with Dynamics 365, engage customers more effectively, be able to capture your interactions and learn from it. That kind of information then feeds the decisions your employees can make, given the fact that they have this data. As we're collecting this data, we can then make more effective decisions both on the customer service and from the sales side, and be able to, more efficiently and effectively be able to execute that employee's role or goal, business objective. And finally, this is going to then allow you to be able to improve your products and services and your offerings. All this data that you're taking in from your customers, you're able to understand, how you can adjust your service and product to then better engage your customers, and the cycle begins again. So, really the concept with Dynamics 365 is about iterative learning. And that's really what it's looking to facilitate for your organization. As I've mentioned before, we have a series of modules for Microsoft: sales, customer service, operations, marketing, field service, project service automation. Each of these have their own set of entities and functions and processes that are baked into them. And then with CRM Dynamics, we're kind of going a step forward. We know that not all sales for different organizations are the same. So we then bring our blueprint model on top of that. For example, if we're looking to work with associations, we have an association blueprint that has best practices from associations from a sales and customer service standpoint. And same with different industry verticals like credit unions, and also into a series of different industries and verticals like that. What's really exciting about Microsoft is there's this Power Platform that sort of underpins the CRM application that really makes it powerful. Power BI is one piece. It's advanced analytics, being able to pull in data not just from CRM but from multiple data sources and really drill down and draw amazing insights from what's going on. From the Power Apps side, you can create mobile applications that can interact with CRM and really engage your customers in more effective ways and collect data in more seamless ways as well. Power Automate is a really powerful tool and really allows for organizations to better own and improve on their CRM application because it's this full module-based engine that allows you to have pre-built workflows that you can run to more effectively optimize your process, and it's no code. So you don't have to have someone that's knows JavaScript or .NET to be able to effectively automate parts of your CRM. Power Automate really is giving people like you and I that might not be as developer heavy the ability to do some amazing things in the application. And it also allows you to interact with different applications outside of the Microsoft ecosystem. It has a full set of APIs for applications like Twitter, Facebook, and different social media platforms and different finance tools where it's easier to pass data between those different applications. And finally, Power Virtual Agents is a great way to lessen the load on your customer service department by having this Power Virtual Agent being able to interact with your customer before they're transferred to a live agent to answer frequently asked questions. The last piece to really hit on from the Microsoft side is the common data service model. Any of these applications that we've discussed here are all coming back to a central database. So there's no integration that's required to interact between the sales module of your CRM or the customer service module or the marketing module. It's all contained in the same database and allows you for much more ease of analyzing data and being able to interact with different departments through these different modules. So now what I wanted to get into was just a demonstration of the quick launch blueprint. And before I dive too far in, I kind of want to talk about what the quick launch blueprint looks to achieve. So we've kind of talked about blueprints being in an industry standpoint, being able to, if you're a credit union, for example, being able to take advantage of some of the pre-built functionality that we've learned, dealing with our credit union customers, and we've packaged that into a pre-built solution. So where does Quick Launch Blueprint kind of fall into this? This is sort of the general, kind of peeled back, very efficient functionality that we've learned from the different engagements we've had with customers, specifically just around sales and customer service. And the reason that we've decided to really push this Quick Launch Blueprint and the success that we've seen with it is because we're trying to get customers onto the CRM platform as soon as possible. And what this allows us to do is really make sure that the customer understands Dynamics as a platform. we're getting away from this model of building applications from scratch, and we're starting now with these best practices, and we're having customers learn how Dynamics captures data and interacts with data. The sooner we can get you on the platform, the faster we can really iterate on using the CRM and improving on it. So, the challenge we've seen is Microsoft has so many different entities and aspects in their sales module and customer service module for organizations that are just looking to start out and just get their feet wet in CRM. We wanted to have a very simplified version to get them into the application and really, get them, learning iteratively, and we could have very intelligent discussions about where the customer is looking to have the CRM application go. So just starting from kind of the top here, if I just go to dashboards, this would be the aggregate view that salespeople or their managers could see of some of the different data that's coming into the system. So just some basic kind of sales funnel, charts here, top opportunities, looking at actual revenue, its kind of growth and decline by month. And you can see a list of, some of the different opportunities that are in the system and upcoming activities. And this can be, filtered so that it's only displaying by that specific sales rep what kind of information that they're looking to see. So this is kind of at the aggregate level, but let's drill a little bit deeper and let's kind of look at what different components are actually informing these dashboards and what kind of the processes look like or could look like. So I'm going to start with accounts as our first entity that we want to discuss. And anytime I say entity, really what I'm referring to is it's a container of data, based on some sort of classification. So for accounts, an account is really just information that's pertaining to an organization or a company. So CRM is looking to classify those different pieces of information and relate them together. And you'll see what I mean by that as we go through the different entities a little bit more. So this would be a list of active accounts, organizations that I own in the system. So we could see, General Motors, Infotech, Quest Motors. Here's some examples that we might have. And we're exposing some information in the form of a view here. And this view is being filtered by accounts that I'm the owner of right now. We can have a series of different views. So, active accounts might be all accounts in the system, and we can see a much larger list of accounts. But I'm going to start with my active accounts, and I'll go into General Motors as our first example. So this would be, this is what we call a form, and this is the different fields that are making up an account entity or account record in the system. In this case, we can see the account name is General Motors. We can see the relationship type is customer, and this could be, many different types of accounts. So you're certainly not limited to just capturing customers in the accounts. You might want to capture partners or prospects or vendors. Any organization could be classified as an account, and it's sort of filtered out by this relationship type field of whether, what type of account it is, like customer or like partner. You can also list a parent account as well. So you could say, a common example might be a bank or RBC. You might have RBC as a branch in Toronto as one of your accounts, but it actually looks up to RBC Canada as the parent account. And you can create a hierarchical structure for accounts in the system. We can see there's a list of different fields of phone number, email, website, street that can be captured here to get some more information on the account. We can see the primary contact is Elise here, and we can actually kind of expose some of that contact information here at the top. And then we can also see, different contacts that are also related to, this particular account. And again, we can expose different information for this. In this case, we're saying first name or the full name and the email. We could also expose job title, or location or whatever it might be. With this grid, if I wanted to see a different related entity, in this case opportunities, we can see just that there are also different sales opportunities going on here as well. Lastly, too, we have cases. So this would be information that or particular examples of engaging with a customer service department. So if there's a complaint or if there's feedback, that could be captured in cases here against the account. Lastly, on the side here is we have a timeline. And this could capture email activities, appointments, anything that might be a way that we're engaging this account, we can capture as part of this timeline. These can be manually created through this kind of plus button that will bring up a form to create an appointment or an email, or it can be pulled from Outlook, which I'll show you guys a little bit later. I'll just move this guy over here. Great. And so let's go into contacts now. So same sort of concept here. Here's a list of my active contacts, so ones that I own in the system. I could also go into a different filter, such as active contacts. We have classifications of whether or not this contact is currently active in the system, or if they're no longer engaging your organization, you have the option where you could deactivate them as well. And that would take it out of this list. But I'll open up a lease as our example. And here is a list of information pertaining to a contact in the system, which is just a person. Again, this could be a client, it could be a supplier, agent, contractor, and these are all configurable elements. Many organizations have their own unique relationship types that they might have to classify a contact or an account, and these are certainly things that aren't locked and are highly configurable. And that goes with any of the fields listed here as well. So we can also see, a lease is part of these different opportunities in the system, and we have a timeline here on the side as well that's able to kind of show some of the interactions. If it's an email or if it's a note or something like that. So that then brings us to opportunities. And so opportunities are really just capturing, a potential sale to an organization. So again, I think you've seen the list of or the different kind of options that we have with views a fair amount at this point. So if I open up an opportunity in the system, here we can see, the topic of the opportunity. So in this case, it's an audit. We can see that here's the account. That's the the opportunity is for, and here might be the primary contact, which could be the decision maker from the client side. We can capture the estimated close date, which could be, let's say, the end of this month, and we could say to what level of confidence do we have here? Is this a hot lead? Is it warm? Is it cold because we haven't heard back from them? And what's the estimated revenue for this particular opportunity right now? Some general details can be captured here as well. The customer need, the proposed solution, things like that. And again, any of the email activity can be tracked against this opportunity here in the timeline. So what's slightly different about opportunities is there's also this business process flow at the top. So if I click on this first stage here, we can see that it's currently in the qualify stage. And at the qualify stage, all we're looking to kind of see here is do we have the correct account, the contact, and are they qualified, which in general terms would mean, are they a fit? Are they a potential fit for the services or products that we're offering? So if yes, we can click next stage. And then this is going to progress our opportunity to the develop stage. And this is going to have its own unique set of steps that need to be achieved before we move to the next stage. So in this case, again, we're keeping it fairly simple, and this is something that we certainly can configure for customers, but we're saying, what does the customer need? And so they need an audit for one of their manufacturing plants, and our proposed solution is our audit service. If we wanted to kind of get into more granularity here, certainly if your product or more module service-based business, you guys could add a product or service into this grid. So let's say that we're doing auditing for $150 per hour for 100 hours. That would total to $15,000, and then that would be the amount that we're looking to propose to the customer. So through this function here, and I'll just get this guy up a little bit so I can see my plus add new product. And I'll move this guy over a little bit. We can see, do we want to add an existing product into the system? So you could have your list of products here with each their own price per unit, and you could select that and click Save and Close and be able to add that into the grid. So this is kind of a nice function here. So we'll hit Save and Close, and now we've added another piece here, and we can see the total amount that we're extending to the customer is increasing. Just move this guy back here. So now we might have kind of developed what the customer need is, where we have a proposed solution, and we go to the next stage. And now we have complete an internal review. So you guys might want to generate a proposal, and we want to just confirm that we've completed, we've actually presented that proposal as well. So a nice feature with Dynamics is we can actually generate these Word templates that will allow you to pull information from the opportunity into a document. So if I just clicked on one of these guys here, we can see that it's generated a Word document, and I can open it up. And this is just a very basic example, but we could have values pulled into a quote here, for that we could send off to a customer, just to sort of expedite this process. So this is certainly something that is very possible as part of this. Okay. So finally, we could say that we've sent off the proposal, and we can click Next Stage. And then here we could say, our actual close date was today, and I could just hit Save, and then we could close this opportunity as one. And this will bring in, the revenue value here. The last piece I just wanted to show you guys was knowledge base. And so this is allowing you guys to kind of have a set of pre-built marketing material, essentially, that you could send off to customers through the CRM. So if we wanted to send off this one as an example, I could click the Send button. This generates an email record in the system, and then it will pull in some content that we could then email the customer, with these details here. So this is kind of a nice function if customers are asking for marketing material or more details, which certainly happens in the sales process. So that's opportunities there. As you guys are closing these opportunities out, this is going to go from my open opportunities into a list of one opportunities here. So that way you guys have some tracking. You could say, show me all opportunities with an actual close date for this month, for the month of August. And there you have, what your actual revenue is going to be, And then you could also display show me all open opportunities that have a close date, an estimated close date by the end of this month. And then that would be your forecast. So the final piece is cases. Cases are a way for you to be able to capture customer service interactions with your customers. So in this case, we just have a complaint about faulty shingles as a case that's been created. And these just can be created, generally through this plus new button, which would just create, a new case where you could capture the information, and someone could be calling over the phone, someone could have emailed something in, and you guys could have this window open and capture some of the details of what that customer complaint or feedback is. But just to open up an existing one, we can see the case title here is a complaint about faulty shingles. We have our customer here. So it could be, and the customer could be both an account or it could be a contact. So if it's just someone that if you're a B2C company and you're looking to capture interactions with people, great. You can put the customer as a person, or you could put it as a company. And here you could enter any information that's relevant to resolving the case. There's also knowledge base articles that exist here as well. So if it's a matter of just sending some details from the knowledge base that you guys have, that's certainly an option. And if it's just a matter of answering some questions, you could say answered some questions around how to assess faulty shingles. And then we could hit save. And once we're complete, we could hit resolve case. And if you guys want to track billable time, that's certainly an option as well. And you could put in your resolution here to be answered question. And we could put billable time as 15 minutes and hit resolve. And then this will now lock the case. And you can see that it's left my active case queue here, or view. So a couple other things I want to show you guys. First is really briefly is just the Outlook app here. So if I have an email here, I can hit this Dynamics 365 pane. And this is going to allow me to track things directly into the system as an email activity. So here, I could search, a person, I could search an opportunity, and I would be able to then track, this particular email against that contact, opportunity, or person. And that's going to allow me, so if I opened up one of my opportunities, to be able to see, appointment record or an email record back into the timeline. So this, what it allows you to do is essentially not have to recreate or type in what that email activity was manually. It can bring it directly into the opportunity and show it in as an activity here in the timeline. So a pretty powerful piece there. The last piece I wanted to discuss is just being able to import and export data into the system. So if I wanted to export this list of opportunities, you could do it through a static worksheet. So this would just be kind of a normal Excel sheet or CSV file. Or what's really powerful is I can open it in Excel Online. And what this allows me to do is I can both update records en masse. So if I wanted to update, the estimated close date, estimated revenue, or anything like that en masse in the Excel format, I could do that. I could hit save. So, maybe in this example, I'll put in 10,000, and then I'll hit save here. And then this is going to allow me to be able to make an update. So it generally takes about a minute or two for it to come through, as it's treating it just as an import. But this is a very powerful tool for being able to update records. And you could actually also create records from that same view, which is equally powerful. If you guys wanted to import data, you could import from CSV, and then you'd be able to upload the file. Generally, what you want to do is pull a template from the system. So if you ran an export first of opportunities, for example, it would pull the values from this column, and then you could import your data into that exported template, and then you would hit this import from CSV, and you'd be able to bring it into the system. So, for quick launch, that is the preferred way to bring data into the system. Assuming that we're dealing with somewhere in the space of 250 to 1,000 records is generally something that's reasonable. So that covers the main pieces for quick launch. I hope you guys have a better idea of kind of what's possible from the system. Again, this is really a foundational piece to get people into the system, get their data into the system. And what that's going to allow you to do is really begin to iterate quickly on improving and adding new fields and changing views and creating new dashboards, and really being able to take advantage of CRM very early on. So that's the main pieces. And Jared, I guess I'll turn it back to you, and we can take any questions at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much, Matthew. Do have a question in the chat wondering how long does it take to implement Quick Launch Blueprint?
Yes, this is a great question. So, with the Quick Launch Blueprint deployments that I've done, we generally find it takes about a month. So some of the activities that are involved is we start with an initial demo. It's a very kind of small gap analysis that we do, just to identify, what are your existing processes? Are there pieces that are kind of far away from the basic kind of foundational aspects that we have in Quick Launch? We shore those up just by adding maybe fields or some select views to make sure that we can kind of get it as aligned as we can. And then we go through a series of training activities. So that we'd probably do about 2 or 3 sessions with folks from the sales or customer service side from a process standpoint, and then we do some admin training. We make sure that the administrators know how to manage kind of the security elements of it. How do I set up a user? How do I restrict access? How do I give access? And how do I import data into the system? And then once that's done, we kind of help just finish up the training activities, roll it out to users. We from a support capacity, make sure that if there's any questions that come up, that we can address it. We're able to do that, but we generally find those activities can fall within a month, and we encourage it to happen within a month because that just makes sure that we have that kind of inertia or really hitting the ground running with things while the information is in everyone's head. So generally about a month, I would say.
Great. I have another question from Kelly, who asks, how does someone utilize calendar appointments and CRM? And I don't know if that's an Outlook integration. Or...
Yeah, absolutely. So there's 2 pieces. CRM basically has the ability to push appointments as well as pull appointments from Outlook. So we would set up for your inbox, we would set up an integration between the 2, and we would dictate, do we want appointments to sync just from Outlook, or do we want to also be able to create an appointment record in CRM and push it to your Outlook? So both possibilities exist. What we suggest as a best practice is create an appointment in Outlook and then track it back into CRM against the correct record, which would be potentially an opportunity or an account or something like that. So as long as you're able to look it up kind of in that section, you'll be able to track it back into CRM. And I can kind of quickly show you a little bit of what that would look like. If I was to open up this appointment, we have this Dynamics 365 button here. And we'd be able to search for the correct opportunity to track it back. And so this would kind of display a list of different record types here, and we could search for your opportunity. Great. Is there any other questions?
No, I think that is it. Just for anyone listening on the webinar here, if you want to get in touch and learn more about Quick Launch Blueprint, you can reach out to us at experts@crmdynamics.com, obviously at our website, crmdynamics.com. And thank you so much, Matthew, for taking us through that. That was great. And if there are no other questions, we will end it here. All right. Thanks, everyone. Everyone have a great day. Bye now.
Thanks, everyone. Take care.